Well, season 11 of Formula E already started with a bang in Sao Paulo, in a race that ended with 2 red flags, a car upside down, and a rookie on the podium. Today, we want to highlight 6 reasons you should be excited for this season as the calendar flips to 2025. Number 6. Performance gains from tyres, powertrain, AWD. As season 11 marks the halfway point of Gen 3, Formula E's manufacturers have introduced their new powertrains. These new powertrains, in addition to softer tyres from Hankook and all-wheel drive during the dual phase of qualifying, starts and attack mode have led to a dramatic decrease in lap times compared to season 10. For instance, the fastest lap of group qualifying was 1.8 seconds faster than last year, even without the addition of all-wheel drive. Even more extraordinary is that Verline's pole lap was 3.86 seconds quicker than last year's. Now, this early data suggests that this will be the biggest single season performance improvement for Formula E since the introduction of the Gen 2 cars in 2018. So it will be fascinating to see how much lap times improves at each track we visit this year. Number 5. Gen 3 Evo car shaking up the order. Like we mentioned previously, we'll be seeing the manufacturer's new powertrain starting this season. As a result, we'll likely see a change in the competitive pecking order. While Jaguar and Porsche powered cars dominated the first 2 seasons of Gen 3, winning 26 races out of 32, it's possible that the DS or Nissan powertrain could join the fight at the front and make the championship battle even more competitive. The early returns from Sao Paulo for Nissan were very strong and suggest that they've been cooking in the off-season and should be in with a chance of the championship. History tells us as well that we should expect change, as the midway point of Gen 2 proved, where Mercedes came to dominate the last 2 years of the generation, whereas Techeetah's power waned after being the team to beat in seasons 5 and 6. Number 4. Revamped attack mode and its effect on London. With all of this additional performance, and with the increased grip of the Hankook tyres, the hope was that attack mode would return to being the strategic benefit that it was in Gen 2 rather than the strategic hindrance it's been for the last 2 years. Luckily for us, the early returns from Sao Paulo look good, and in a way, attack mode seems to be even more powerful than it was during Gen 2. While many, ourselves included, are looking forward to seeing the results on the other tracks, there's been some concern about its safety at the London Excel circuit, which is the tightest and slowest track on the calendar. Realistically speaking, the track is still going to be quite slow due to its layout, but the increased acceleration out of corners may make the curved turns 14 and 15 quite a challenge. Even if there was a crash there, it likely wouldn't reach the speeds of Bird's crash at Cape Town or the various crashes we've seen over the years at Turn 6 in Rome. While there may be more concern for a multi-vehicle pileup like we saw the last year in Rome, due to the unsighted nature of the corner, we feel the risk is quite small. Number 3. The long-awaited debut of Pit Boost. While Formula E hasn't had pit stops in the 6 years since the final Gen 1 race, it's looking increasingly likely they'll return in Season 11 after false dawns in Season 9 and 10. The technology, developed by Fortescue Zero, struggled to work reliably in early test sessions, which has led to a considerable delay. However, it's understood that pit boosts will be used during the second half of select double headers this year, starting with the Jeddah E-Prix on February the 14th and 15th. During the pit stop, cars will stop for about 30 seconds and receive a 10% battery recharge at 600 kilowatt hours. Including pit lane time loss, cars could lose about 50 seconds or so pitting, which for short circuits or cars lagging towards the bottom of the field could put them a lap down. There are still many questions about Pit Boost, such as how reliably it will work and what tactical elements it will introduce to the series, so this is something that will evolve as the year progresses. Number 2. Intriguing driver pairings. With any new season of Formula E, there'll always be interest in how rookies will stack up against their veteran teammates, as well as how established drivers will do in new environments, and Season 11 is no exception. 2 drivers in particular stand out to us, Max Günther and Nico Müller. The German Günther has moved over to DS Penske to partner with double Formula E champion Jean-Eric Vergne after 2 years impressing at their powertrain customer Maserati. Günther has had a patchy record during his time in Formula E, with impressive stints at Dragon and Maserati bookending some inconsistent and frustrating seasons at both BMW and Nissan. So it will be really interesting to see which Günther shows up at DS Penske. However, the early signs were promising before Günther went into the barriers, setting off that dramatic Verline crash in the late stages of the season opening Sao Paulo E-Prix. As for Muller, the Swiss driver joined Andretti with fairly high expectations after 2 strong seasons against established drivers in Robin Freins and Season 3 champion Lucas de Grassi. While he already has a podium in his Formula E career, I think we all would agree that he was massively helped by the circumstances at that shambolically managed Valencia E-Prix. As a result, this promotion is really his first chance to show what he can do in front-running machinery. While the early returns weren't amazing, as Muller crashed into Jake Hughes in the opening laps of the first race of the year, there is still lots of time left for a driver who's already being tipped for a seat at Porsche, replacing Antonio Felix da Costa. Watching how these 2 highly rated drivers perform at new teams is surely going to be one of the big talking points of Season 11. Number 1. New tracks. Lastly, as with any motorsport series, new tracks are always a topic that will generate buzz, and Formula E is no different. With 2 new venues in the Jeddah Corniche Circuit and Miami Homestead Speedway joining the calendar, these tracks are bound to give us a surprise. Jeddah is using a modified version of the F1 track, with the track cutting from turn 3 to turn 20 on the other side. There will be an interesting bus stop chicane between turn 25 and 26, as well as 2 chicanes on the main straight, which in our opinion is a bit of an overkill. However, there may be concerns about the batteries, as there was for much of last year, so Formula E may be trying to keep the max battery capacity down. At Homestead, Formula E will be using the road course, which includes a couple of bank corners. We still don't know what the exact layout will look like, but we wouldn't be surprised if Formula E threw in a couple of chicanes to add some heavy braking zones. So there you have it, 6 reasons to look forward to what should be a fascinating season for Formula E and what we hope leads the series forward as it prepares for Gen 4 in 2 years' time. And let us know what you find most interesting about this season down below in the comments. And if you like this video, help us grow our channel by liking the video and subscribing with notifications turned on. Thanks for watching.